What's good, guys? Just Prince TV here. Now, y'all know recently, a couple weeks ago, Alpo Martinez, Harlem drug kingpin. Some of you young guys may not know who he is, but if you watch the movie from Paid in Full, you would know Cameron's character is based off Alpo. So Alpo was very similar in terms of attitude that Cameron portrayed. So he did a lot of study of Alpo. That's why he was behaving like that in the movie, because he was portraying Alpo from top to bottom. And Dame Dash came out and said they're gonna do Paid in Full too, which is the sequel to that. Now, since he got killed off in a way that justifies his lifestyle, this guy was responsible for a lot of bodies. Him, Rich Porter, they terrorized the streets of Harlem, and the guys that he run with, they was catching bodies. And in true gangster fashion, he dies, so it's like live by the gun, die by the gun. That's the lifestyle that he was living. Then I guess it only seemed fit that he'd die in the same way that he took other lives in. So he got shot up in his car, got killed, and the movie that's going to be based off this guy's life again, Cameron would be playing that role again. I find that really kind of fascinating, because Cameron really knocked that role out the park. Especially the scene when he's in the courtroom. He's like, yo, I give you some names for some cats in D.C., but I ain't telling you about nobody in Harlem, because when I come back home, I'm still going to be king. He did that smirk like that, you know what I'm saying? My personal thoughts, excuse me, my personal thoughts on a Paid in Full too. They're gonna make the movie now that the guy has passed away. You should have came out with the movie while he was still alive, so at least he could get some critique on it, and he could talk about it, and he could give some opinions on how Cam is portraying him. The fact that he passed away is the green light for Dame Dash is going to do a movie, a part 2 for Paid in Full. And that's because he died in that fashion of getting shot. That don't mean you need to make a part 2. Sometimes sequels don't need to be touched on. And the classic movies don't need to have a part 2. So, if Dame Dash, if you're going to do another hood movie in Harlem, don't do a Paid in Full 2, man. Leave that alone. You could do a movie on Alpo separate and call it something else. You could just call the movie Alpo, something like that. But you don't have to do a movie, a part 2 to that. And yeah, man. Now, if he does come out with the movie, will I watch it? I mean, I guess I'll watch it if I have some free time, but I won't be looking for it, because I think the way Paid in Full ended was just good for that movie. You don't need to do a part 2. He gonna come out and start taking over the streets, but he didn't do that. So you're gonna be fabricating his story. It won't be based off a true story anymore. So to me, I think you should just leave Alpo Martinez's story alone, and you should leave the Paid in Full story that you pit with these fictional characters that pretending to be Alpo and Rich Porter. Leave that alone. Let the classic stay as it is. Cameron knocked it out the park with a classic performance, and let's just leave it at that. Just Prince TV out. Peace.